6 o'clock. I'm bringing the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. And to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have several minutes to review and approve. The first being our February 22nd work session meeting minutes. Is there a motion or?
Make a motion to approve the work session minutes.
Okay.
Second.
Ted moved, Neil seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. Mary Ann, your vote?
Aye.
Mac?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Ted?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. Those minutes passed. Next one is the February 22nd regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
I make a motion, we accept the meeting minutes from our regular session on February 22nd.
Okay. Mary Ann moves. Is there a second?
Second.
That's Ted. Ted seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have an issue under appointments. I nominated, I made a motion to appoint Susan Wood to the planning board as an alternate, but I did not second my motion.
Motion was made by Neil McIver. Okay, got it. So should we go back to?
We'll just amend those. Yep, we'll amend those minutes.
Okay. All right. So with that modification to be done later, any other discussion? Seeing none. With that amendment, Mary Ann, your vote?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Ted?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. All right, next we have the March 15th work session.
I'll make a motion to accept and approve the meeting minutes from the March 15th work session.
Okay, Ted moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Neil seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none. Mary Ann, your vote.
Aye.
Ted?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. Nice have it. And lastly, we have the March 15th non-public work session. Is there a motion?
I move that we accept the minutes of the March 15th non-public work session.
Okay, Neil moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Ted seconds. Mary Ann, your vote?
Aye.
Zach? Ted?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. The select board will meet on the following dates. We'll have regular meetings at 6 p.m. and the next regular meeting is going to be April 12th at 6 p.m. And then the following meeting will be April 26th, 2021. Work sessions prior to the regular meeting will start at 5 o'clock. And all the above meetings will be held by Zoom, and you can find dial-in information as well on the town's website at plymouth-nh.org. Dates for the town election and voting on the warrant articles. The vote for the warrant articles will occur on Saturday, April 17th, 2021. Ballot voting on warrant articles 2 through 19 will be at the Plymouth Elementary School. Will start at 9 a.m. and go to 12 p.m. at 12 noon. Citizens wishing to be listed on the select board's agenda should notify the town hall before 12 p.m. the Friday before the scheduled meeting. Reopening of town offices. Town of Plymouth continues to follow the governor's orders and CDC updates and recommendations very closely regarding COVID-19. At this time, State of Emergency Order 82 extends Executive Order 2020-04 until March 26, 2021. And due to the concerns of the COVID-19 virus and by agreement of the town's emergency management director, town offices will remain closed to the public through Friday, April 9th, 2021. Please note, as we respond to this unprecedented and rapidly changing situation, the above plans may change at any time in the future. We expect to receive regular updates and will make every attempt to keep you informed. Please continue to check our website and Facebook page for up-to-date planning and information. And if you need something, please don't hesitate to call the office. The Selectman's office can be reached at 536-1731 from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Town Clerk's office is available at 536-1732 from 8:30 to 4 p.m. And the Tax Collector's office is 536-4733 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. The chairman has no comments, so we have a plaque presentation.
Actually, John's not here.
No, we have it says another plaque
Oh, I'm
presentation.
sorry. You do. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Well, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, thank you. I just wanted an opportunity. I have not had an opportunity to recognize one of my employees simply because of COVID and because I was out on medical leave. I finally now have a chance to recognize this employee in person. So Morris, if you would come up, please. Morris retired in December after 22 years of service with the Parks and Recreation Department. Morris worked in the maintenance department, maintained all the town facilities, the town common, the Tucker Island, Fox Park, Riverfront Park. There are many, many more facilities that he maintained, too many to name. Also maintaining the Plymouth Regional High School, all the athletic fields, Plymouth Elementary School, all the snow removal, just did a super job. So I just wanted an opportunity to thank Morris in person for his service, dedicated employee. So I wanted to present on behalf of the Parks and Recreation Commission, I wanted to present Maurice with a plaque. It says, presented to Maurice Brandsdorfer in recognition of your dedicated years to the Plymouth Parks and Recreation Department. Thank you for your service to the Plymouth community. So, Maurice, congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry.
Your
Very
service. Okay.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Okay, anybody? Any other?
I'd just like to say thank you to, do you mind if I shake your hand?
No?
Thank you very much.
Give it a shot.
All right. You bet. First time in a
Yeah,
year.
here's a Clorox knife. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy retirement, huh?
Yeah, enjoy your retirement. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ann.
Thanks, Maurice.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, I would.
Take up baking. You can send us cookies.
Do a little bread.
Oh, okay, that too.
That'll be good. Very good.
Yes, thanks again.
All right.
I'll head out.
We'll miss you around here.
Yeah.
You ever want to volunteer, just let us know. We'll take you back.
You can volunteer for your old position if you'd like. That'd be fun.
Elections.
Thank you again.
Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See ya. Yep. Okay. Well, we have several appointments. The first is Jason Duchette, excuse me. And it's for a reappointment to the Plymouth Parks and Rec Board. And Jason submitted a letter. And Jason says that he's writing to apply for the reappointment to the Parks and Rec Board. He has served on the commission since 2015, serving on the Facilities Committee, focusing primarily on long-term planning for the development of Fox Pond Park and Riverfront Park. We have completed some great work at Fox Pond, thanks to the bond, excuse me. The bond has afforded this town some great improvement. I enjoy coaching basketball for the department. We are able to hold this program in COVID times effectively and safely. We will continue to look for ways to offer safe, valuable programming to our community in these challenging times. Thank you for your consideration, and he looks forward to his continued service to the town of Plymouth. Signed, Jason Duchette. Is there a motion?
I make a motion, we reappoint Jason Duchette to the Plymouth Parks and Rec.
Very good. Mary Ann moves. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Ted seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, Neil, your vote.
Aye.
Mary Ann,
Aye.
Zach,
Aye.
Ted,
Aye.
Bill, aye. Thank you, Jason. Very good. We have the original somewhere. Okay. Oops. I got arranged here. Second appointment is for Mark McGlone, reappointment to the Plymouth Parks and Rec Board. And did Mark submit a letter? Yes, he did. Mark writes, "Dear Select Board members, I am writing to apply for reappointment to the Parks and Recreation Board. I have served as a commissioner for the past 14 years and have enjoyed my time on the board tremendously. I have been an active member serving on the Budget Committee and helping to organize the Family Fun Festivals, as well as our sponsored summer concerts on the Common. In closing, I hope you get a chance to continue serving the Plymouth community, and thank you for your consideration."
I get a chance.
What's that?
Hope I get a chance.
Yeah, I know. I misread it, and I appreciate you pointing that out, Ann. Thank you very much. In closing, I hope to get a chance to continue serving the Plymouth community, and thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Mark McGlone. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to reappoint Mark McGlone to the Parks and Recreation Board.
Okay.
Seconded.
Second.
Ted moves, Neil seconds.
Zach had it first.
Zach, what?
Zach seconded that first.
Oh, sorry. It was Zach seconded that. Sorry, Neil.
Okay.
Any discussion? Seeing none. Yeah, Ted, your vote.
Aye.
Zach,
Aye.
Mary Ann,
Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
Bill, aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Larry. See ya. Okay, where did I put the other one? I'll keep that one right there. The third appointment is Melissa Ullery. Excuse me.
Ullery.
Ullery. Was to be appointed as an alternate to the Conservation Commission. And Melissa. Okay, so yeah, Melissa sent in an email and she said, "I'm sending this email to express my sincere interest in serving as a board alternate for the Plymouth Conservation Commission. Presently, I'm employed full-time at Plymouth State University, where I work on the curricula side, evaluating transfer curriculum overall and building transfer agreements with respective institutions. During my 5 years at Plymouth State University, I have the opportunity to engage and serve on various committees. Currently, I am a participant in CPLC, Cluster Pedagogy Learning Community, serve as a CoLab faculty affiliate, and I also teach tackling a wicked problem, water reclamation and sanitation. I am happy to provide any additional current and previous background information to be considered as the board alternate. Thank you for the opportunity to express my interest, and I look forward to speaking further. Sincerely, Melissa Ulery. Is there a motion?
I move that we appoint Melissa Ulery as a
Conservation Commission alternate?
alternate to the Conservation Commission.
Okay, thank you, Neil. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Ted seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, Zach, your vote.
Aye.
Mary Ann,
Aye.
Neil,
Aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Bill, aye. Thank you, Melissa. Okay, next up, I saw Marlon earlier.
He was here. Good job.
We have a PSU update. Marlon Collingwood.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
I
Marlon.
hope, what a beautiful Monday evening, I have to say. Thank you all for inviting me. Good news on the COVID-19 front. I think the last time President Birx and I joined you was about a month ago, and we were seeing quite a dramatic spike in cases. Happy to report that we are back down. I think as of today, we have 20 active cases on campus. Our testing over the weekend, about 500 tests, no positive results at all from those. So we're feeling really good. We're back to where we were as we ended the semester in the fall and kind of started it in January. So we're feeling very pleased about that and keeping our fingers crossed that that continues. We are continuing to test all students twice weekly. So they're tested on Mondays and Tuesdays and tested again on Thursdays and Fridays. And we plan to continue that at least through mid-April. When we'll re-examine that. We are watching results this week closely, obviously. St. Patrick's Day was last Wednesday, and I know a lot of folks imbibed on that day, both our students and other folks in the community, so we're going to be watching those results. And we did have quite a large party this weekend that happened on Saturday night, and we have interimly suspended the hosts of that party. They are going through the student conduct process right now, and we are working with them to identify anyone who was at the party, and we'll be asking those folks to quarantine and to be tested specifically on Friday of this week, which is about 6 days after the party would have happened, which might have been the incubation period, or at least that's well within the incubation period. So our message is loud and clear to our students. That behavior is unacceptable. It's unacceptable based on our policies. It's unacceptable based on what the town has asked of its residents and of our students. And that kind of behavior will lead to a surge, which could very well mean that we won't be able to complete the rest of the semester, or more importantly, to some of our students, have the end of semester activities, including commencement, that we might otherwise be able to have. So that's where we are on COVID. I did want to give you an update. We have made a decision for the class of 2021. We will be having an in-person commencement for the class on Saturday, the 8th of May. It will be only for students who are graduating. It will be live streamed for family and friends. After talking to the state of New Hampshire, to colleagues at other schools in New England, and with various folks in the town, we did not at all feel comfortable bringing into the town of Plymouth 600 to 800, 1,000 people from who knows where, all over the state, all over New England, perhaps even all over the country, to participate in our commencement ceremonies. We didn't believe that was a safe thing to do for them, for the town, for our students, or for the community. So it's disappointing, but it is a decision we feel like is the right decision. It's the same decision that Keene has made, that Franklin Pierce, Dartmouth, a variety of schools have made that decision. So we will be having an in-person commencement. It will be happening on Mary Lyon Lawn. It will be outside, but it will only be for the graduating students. And I can also give you a little preview that we are planning to be open fully in person in the fall. We made that announcement last week. We're anticipating that at the rate of vaccinations that are happening, and depending on where the virus is, we really believe we'll be able to have a much more, that this fall will look much more like a normal fall semester that we hope will include athletic events with spectators, music, theater, and dance performances, as you would expect us to have. And we think that's important for us to look forward to that in the fall. We are starting, classes start 1 week later this fall. So our classes begin on Monday, August 30th. Which means that students will start moving in, first-year students that Wednesday before, and upperclassmen that weekend. So classes will start on Monday the 30th. And happy to answer any questions about anything.
How many students were involved in that party?
About 100 students.
Wow.
So we responded. There's Chief Lefebvre. Our police responded. Steve Lefebvre's officers responded as well. It was broken up. We do know who the hosts were, who the tenants are. We're working very closely. We had a meeting this afternoon with the landlord. So we're doing everything we can to number one, make sure that the people that hosted it are punished for that, and then working to determine who else was at the party. Steve, I don't know if you have any other updates you want to give on that.
No, other than Marlon, you guys are doing an outstanding job with that. It's a huge help to us that you're holding the students accountable for that, and the message is getting across to the rest of the students. Absolutely is.
Thank you.
Very good. Anyone else?
Are the landlords accountable for any of this, Marlon or Steve? How does that work?
Well, I don't believe they're accountable, but I will say this: they are our partners in this. So,
Okay.
I mean, as soon as we determined who the landlord was, the landlord has begun talking to those students about possible eviction. And they are already interimly suspended. They were yesterday at about noontime, which means they're not allowed on campus and they can't take classes even remotely. And now they'll become part of the student conduct process. But I have to give great kudos to the local landlords. We meet with them every Monday at 4:00. They have done a great job in not only responding to the things we ask them to, but also proactively letting us know what they're hearing and what they're seeing. And in most cases this fall and now into the spring, we've been able to head off most of these things before they even happen, which has been really helpful.
Very good. Any other questions?
How are your enrollment numbers looking, Marlon?
We are up. Our deposits for the fall are up right now. It's still very early, but we're trending about 6% higher than we were last fall. And last fall was a good year for us. So one of the things we've discovered, and Zach, you may be aware of this, that as we talk to guidance counselors and principals in New Hampshire, there are a lot of seniors who haven't even made their decision yet whether they're going to go to college in the fall, and they haven't even applied yet. I think in many cases they're waiting to figure out what it's going to look like, to make that decision. So we're working hard to help those students make a decision and come to Plymouth State.
Well, thank you
Thanks
very
as
much.
always.
And thank you, Marlon.
Anytime, and I'm happy to tune in anytime. Just let me know, Kathy.
Okay. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Thanks. Oh, and I just wanted to mention one thing because there had been a question. We are not having a spring break this semester. So as I watch television, I don't believe I saw any PSU students in Miami. And if they happen to be there, we're having classes. So we made the decision not to have a spring break. There is a mental health day that happens in the middle of the week every month to give the students a little bit of break from classes. But so our students, as you know, we started a week later and they are going straight through without any spring break. So nobody's going to the beach, I hope.
Very good.
Good planning.
That's
Thank
good to
you.
hear.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Marlon.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Next, Scott Whedon, Emergency Management Director, will provide an update. Ooh, Scott, you're still there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Yep.
Just a few updates with regards to COVID. The Executive Order 2021-04, which was the 17th extension of the state of emergency, that expires this Friday, March 26. Emergency Order number 81, which was an extension of Emergency Order 74, which is the state mask ordinance, that expires this Friday, March 26. And Emergency Order number 82, which was public health guidance and was an extension of Emergency Order number 52, expires this Friday, March 26. So I know the governor will be holding a press conference on Thursday afternoon at 3:00, and I will tune in on that because I'm sure that these are going to be updated prior to Friday. We have started working on the hazard mitigation plan. We have our first meeting Wednesday night with Jane Hubbard from Hubbard Consulting. The committee will gather and have our initial meeting. And our hope is that we'll meet March, April, May, June, and July, have a finalized plan prior to the September deadline of the current mitigation plan that's in place. I've been working on the cybersecurity insurance application for Primex. It's quite a lengthy application that we are required to complete. I am in hopes to have that done by the end of this week and submitted to the company that holds the cybersecurity policy. Other than that, we did investigate 2 businesses last week with regards to mask ordinance issues. I was in touch with Brian Rude from Department of Health and Human Services, who is the business organizer for COVID for the state, and worked with him with regards to the 2 different businesses. And one did receive outreach from DHHS and the other did not, because there wasn't sufficient evidence or information to further that investigation. And that's the update I have for tonight.
Hey, Scott. Any questions of Scott?
Just one thing.
Go ahead.
Regarding the hazard mitigation plan, I think it'd be wise, Scott, if me, you, and Tom met separately and discussed some stuff that has happened since 2016 that we could probably bring up at the meeting.
Yes.
Okay, we're more than welcome to come to the PD. We can meet there. We can do it via Zoom, however you want to do it.
Yeah, Tommy and I talked briefly this morning about that, and I was going to reach out to you in the morning so that we could have a conversation to update those occurrences that occurred.
Okay, perfect.
Scott, just a general question as far as mask ordinance issues, are those becoming more so, or is pretty much, over?
I would say it's a matter of the different celebrations, such as St. Patrick's Day occurring. Other than that, I think it's just some people are just becoming very lax with their policies within their establishments. And once we've gone in and spoken to them and re-educated them on the restaurant guidance under the Safer at Home 2.0, they seem to get it, because the next thing I tell them is the next call is to Department of Health and Human Services in the Attorney General's office, that you move it out of our hands if you don't want to re-educate your staff and your business to comply with what the town of Plymouth has in place, but more importantly, what the state of New Hampshire has in place. And so far, I haven't had any pushback.
Good. All right. Any other questions or concerns? Well, thank you very much, Scott.
You're welcome.
All right. Next, we have some new purchase orders. And Jesse Jennings, I thought I saw him come on earlier. Oh, he's there. Jesse Jennings for Andela Products, glass pulverizer. Jesse, you want to present your?
So the purchase order presented for the board is to purchase a glass pulverizer. We're looking at approximately $61,000. So that includes a building of the machine and shipping to the transfer station. The glass that the pulverizer is going to produce can be used as road and aggregate. If we use those products, instead of us paying to get rid of it, I'm looking at approximately 6 years of it paying for itself.
Do we have, is it anticipated that we'll be able to utilize all of our glass in a fashion that we can also maybe take in other glass as well? From different municipalities?
I guess we're not understanding your question.
So if we, will we have enough capacity to do other towns' glass crushing and be able to utilize the pulverized glass in road work?
So are you asking if this machine will to take other towns' glass?
Yeah. Whether or not we could actually move the payback to 5 years instead of 7 to 6.
I would not say that it's meant for that. We would have to change out the hammers. I mean, the life expectancies of the hammers is $1,400. If we started taking glass from other towns, and to be even to talk about that, we would have to change our permit with the state.
Okay.
So, if that's something the town wants, is wanting to do, I would gladly to sit with the select board, and have that conversation. And we would have to first come to an agreement on changing the town's permit with the state to accept waste from other towns.
All right. I guess, is there would it be better just to, what would the cost be to just ship the glass off to some place that would deal with this themselves, and we wouldn't have to pulverize it?
So I looked at the Campton, Thornton, Ellsworth transfer station, which their population is quite similar to Plymouth. Last time I spoke with them, they spend over $10,000 a year to get rid of glass.
We,
So that's what we spend as well?
yeah, I was gonna say, what do we spend, or are we using it somehow ourselves now?
I think we just pile it up, right?
So the answer to your question is we haven't moved our glass in probably over 10 years.
Wow, it's stockpiled. Huh?
Yes, which violates our permit.
How long will it take us with this machine to chew through that stockpile?
I would not put that through that machine. This is actually supposed to take whole bottles and then pulverize it. That's what part of the bond is for. There's $100,000 allocated for just to take that stockpile of glass and ship it up north to the PGA plant in Bethlehem.
So is that glass already crushed in some way so that it's broken down and not in full bottles?
Yes. This is a.
But it's not pulverized.
No.
It's not pulverized. So the specifications is that it'll make two productions. One is going to turn the glass into sand, and then some of that glass will be turned into, I believe, less than 3/8 inch cutlets, which it's to the point where it doesn't cut anybody, and we can use it in our road work, which then saves town more money.
Do we have to do anything to use it in the road work, Jesse?
It has to be, by specification, it has to be less than a 1/2 inch. We've tried it. It was unsuccessful how it was applicated that a time before. So a lot of townspeople did not like seeing it in the roads. That was not the right application, and they stopped using it.
This is being funded by the bond, isn't it?
It is. It is. I requested approximately $75,000 for the glass pulverizer, and to do modifications to it, along with the structure for it, which is partly covered by the agricultural grants. And which grant am I thinking of?
Well, the $2 million bond.
Well, there's the original request came out of the $2.5 million bond. But there is a, I believe it's a grant that we have put together for $250,000 worth of environmental protection update. Things like the ambulance could be counted towards that. Jesse's glass crusher could be counted towards that. We had to spend $900,000 in order for them to give us $250,000. So that is part of that as well.
I think my skid steer was part of that too.
I'm sorry, Jesse.
I think my skid steer was part of that 250, was it not?
I would have to.
Part of that 900. I can't remember.
Is there a plan to expend more towards that 75, or is this the whole thing that was estimated originally at 75?
Zach, that's just the machine itself. I have to build concrete footings, probably pour a concrete pad so that way it's leveled correctly, okay. And then build a shelter above it so that way the motor is protected from the elements.
Do you have estimates on building that building yet, or you're just going to get this order in place and then get the building going after?
I'm gonna get the machine going first, and then try to get somebody there. It's a 14-week lead time, so we've got time.
Got some time.
Yeah. I want to try to get through mud season because the where I need concrete poured is really muddy. So I need to get through that. Hopefully, probably in a month, it'll be done with. And then get estimates. I've already got some designs from the company, and And basically, it's not a enclosed shelter. It's just a overhead shelter, so that way, like snow, ice isn't falling onto the machine. It's directly itself.
Can the highway department assist you in the site preparation?
Absolutely, they've assisted us on a couple of different projects.
So have you talked to the highway department? Are they going to use what you're producing?
That is the plan, but no, we haven't had a conversation to use that material.
And if they don't use it, what happens to it?
Then we're gonna have to get rid of it.
And what will it cost to get rid of it?
Probably about $10,000, if not more.
So
Per
how do
year.
we recoup the cost?
So we recouped the cost by using it. So I did have a conversation in the past with the highway department manager, Joe, and he wants to see how well it works on a small project first to keep on continuing to use it. Also, like the sand that it actually produces, the townspeople can actually use that, and then they can actually use the cutlets if they want to.
Well, my concern here is that we're going to spend 60 or 70 or whatever $1,000. We don't have a commitment from the highway department to make use of it. So there's maybe no savings. We're buying a piece of equipment that may or may not actually save us money in the long run, may actually wind up costing us more if we have to ship it out. And we don't know do you have estimates on what the wear and tear on the equipment is and how much it can do before it needs to be overhauled and what have you?
I know it's 1,400 hours for hammers. We have a similar type of machinery that we maintain. It's conveyor belt driven, and that has held up for the last 3 years with minimal maintenance. If we keep on doing the way we're doing, if this purchase order gets denied, so we're crushing with our skid steers, and we're using a piece of machinery that's not meant to do that. We're going through tires, we're going through man hours. Why not have a piece of machinery that's dedicated to do that?
Let's say you weren't crushing it with the skid steers,
Okay,
and just shipping it out. What does that cost a year?
that's good. It costs $10,000, approximately $10,000.
So why are we buying it?
So that way we can actually use it for road aggregate.
That we don't have a commitment to actually do.
Well, I mean, that's a conversation that we can have with Joe.
I mean, I would feel more comfortable if the conversation happened with Joe so that we had an agreement to use it before we're in a situation where we're going to spend potentially the money on the equipment and the housing of the equipment and possibly shipping it out anyway.
Well, this was already decided before this point in time. The money was already decided before this.
Is it a problem if we have a little delay so that we can get some commitments? Would that be a problem in postponing the purchase of the machine for a short period of time?
The longer that we keep on doing it, the longer that we're stockpiling glass. I don't have a lot of room down back.
So what about the $100,000 to ship out what we have? Because we're not going to touch that. What if we started shipping that out right now?
We can't ship it right now. It's frozen.
All right, as soon as it's unfrozen.
Yes, that is the actual plan.
So that would free up space for you while
That
we have
would
this
free-
conversation with Joe.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this money was already allocated for this project.
I don't know. I think we can probably have that conversation with Joe, get an obligation out of him so that we could use the crushed glass in the highway. I mean, I think that would probably be beneficial to do initially, before we come back with the PO. Is that okay, Jesse? Can we, let's approach Joe first?
That is your decision.
All right.
I have no problem with that.
What's that?
I have no problem with it.
Oh, okay. Does everybody else feel that way? And we'll just pull the PO until we get that obligation from Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very good. Well, thanks, Jesse, for bringing it, and we'll get some clarification and, likely go forward with it.
I'm hopeful that that this will be successful in the end.
Yes.
I didn't quite catch that, Neil, but
I'm hopeful that this proposal will be successful in the end.
yeah, true. Okay. Well, thanks, Jesse.
You all have a good night.
Yep, you too.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, next, People Fave with the Celebrate Inc. $9,300 UFED 4-piece ultimate purchase.
And I bet nobody knows what that is.
Nope, not a clue. It sounds cool.
Well, this is to replace some old equipment that we have at the PD. What a Celebrate machine is, it's hardware and software. So whenever we're doing an investigation, obviously, especially with electronics nowadays, everything happens either on a cell phone, a laptop, whatever. This machine and the software with it is actually extracts the data that we need to get off of somebody's cell phone, whether it was any kind of crime, whether it was a drug deal, a missing person, inappropriate text messages between younger people, stuff like that. That's what we use this machine for. Our current one is probably about 10 years old, and the software updates aren't coming anymore. I don't know if the company's starting to go under or what it is, but this is a much different company, and this machine actually does more in the way of extracting data from a cell phone. It can even get deleted data. When you think you delete something on your phone, it's still there, and this machine will actually extract that data from it.
Steve, how often do you use that tool?
Every
A
week.
lot. Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. Yeah. Because everything, think about it, everything is some form of electronic communication nowadays.
Right.
So we do use it a lot, and the flip side of that is, we can send stuff to the lab to extract that data also, but it's anywhere from 30 to 90-day turnaround before we get that back. Which, when we have something like that, it's almost instantaneous. As soon as we plug it in and the detectives, get the data, then we can continue our case immediately.
So
and I do have the money in my budget currently right
Do
now.
any of the surrounding towns have a similar solution, and/or is there an option to offer that as a paid service for them to avoid the labs?
Well, I don't know that they're gonna another town would pay for the service. I would tell you that the current technology we have now, we do have some people in an emergency, we will do it for them. Just like kind of like mutual aid, we help them, they help us, kind of thing. So yeah, we would do it, but it's not. I already had this discussion with my detectives that if this purchase order gets approved, that we are not going to be the central hub for everybody to bring their cell phones to Plymouth PD and extract data from it, because we can't have everybody bringing their cell phones to Plymouth PD to have us do it for them, but in an extreme emergency, like if there was a missing kid or something like that, we absolutely would help out with that.
like you indicated, the piece is actually 10 years old, the software gets updated, or is this, everything's antiquated at this point in time?
Yes, yeah, the old one is. Yes, it is. And this is a lot better technology. You can get more out of this actual machine.
Okay.
And Steve, that 3,500 that the first initial line is on, can you explain where that's coming from?
Oh yeah, sorry. Thank you, Ann. I appreciate you reminding me about that. So part of the money going towards this is drug seizure money that we've had. Whenever we work with DEA or any federal agency, there is a percentage that gets kicked back to the town of Plymouth, and we have to put it in a special fund, but it also has to go towards something drug related, obviously, because we got it from the DEA, and this would be that, because quite frequently we go through cell phones, with drug deals and stuff like that all the time.
Okay.
Any annual fees or anything associated with this?
There are annual fees. Yep, there's $4,300 annual fee. That's included in the initial quote there.
Is that what we're paying currently for the existing piece of equipment? Is 4,300?
You had to ask. It's slightly less than that right now.
Okay.
And Zach, I don't have the exact number with me. I apologize for that. It's somewhere, if I had to take just a guess, a stab at it, somewhere around $3,000.
Any other questions, Steve? Would someone care to make a motion?
I make a motion, we accept the purchase order, approve the purchase order for the Celebrite Inc. UFED 4PC Ultimate. That sounds cool.
I'll second.
Okay, Mary Ann moves. That was a Ted, right? Ted second?
Yep.
Okay, and I gotta get used to your voice, I guess. And any discussion, any further discussion? Seeing none. Neil, your vote?
Aye.
Mary Ann?
Aye.
Ted?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Bill? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And
Still on.
Yep. Elon City, solar Evolus, radar speed sign. Ooh.
Correct. Mr. Chair, can we roll the next two items together because they go together anyway?
Sure. So, grant agreement. Go ahead. Yep.
So the Elan City, the $5,700 is for radar speed signs. Again, our radar trailer that we have is old technology, and to replace a radar trailer is somewhere between $18,000 and $24,000, depending on what you get. These are actual radar signs, and they also can give me traffic data, and you can post messages on them too for people. So, but all you need to do is get posts, and you put the posts in the ground wherever you want them. So eventually the goal is to get posts throughout the town. So if we want to move one of these radar signs, we just unbolt it from the post, bring it to another post, set it up down there. So, and the other reason I said that the grant agreement goes with that is 50% of that cost of $57.99 is a 50-50 grant with New Hampshire Highway Safety. In order to get that grant money, though, they said we have to do $2,000 worth of speed enforcement details. So they gave us an extra $2,000 for traffic enforcement as well. So that's why I said I wanted to roll those together, because that was part of the agreement. In order to, if we wanted them to pay for half of those radar signs, we would have to agree to the $2,000 worth of speed enforcement patrols as well. But also with that, we've also applied for seatbelt extra patrols, DWI extra patrols, and the hands-free. It's called Utex, You Drive, You Pay campaign that they're doing. So all the patrols, including the speed that I said for $2,000, is about $5,400 worth of extra patrols that they're going to pay for us.
So these are extra patrols that we're doing. These aren't offsetting any patrols we were already planning to do.
Correct. No, this is over and above. So what we would do is we would post the patrol as an overtime shift, depending on the period of time. And we would obviously have to pay up front, and then we bill them, and then they send us a reimbursement check for that.
Sounds like a package.
Yeah. So it's all good because, we don't have to pay, and we definitely need, the speed enforcement, DWI, texting and driving, all that stuff reduces accidents, and getting extra patrols out there and doing that's just going to make it safer for our town.
Does this new speed sign give you data as to when the high-speed car goes through?
Yeah, absolutely does. Yeah.
So you can get a lead on what time of day and what day.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it will do all that data for you. Absolutely. It's kind of like it's a fancier version of the one. Do you know when you're pulling into like downtown Bristol, kind of over by the Rite Aid on 104? They have a speed sign there that blinks at you if you're going too fast. It looks exactly like that, but this one's it does a little bit more than that particular sign does.
It's not collecting license plates or anything like that, is it?
No, we can't do that here in New Hampshire.
Thank you, Mary Ann. I appreciate that.
Sorry, Bill.
It's not like DC, I take it, huh?
No.
It's
just collecting data like the date, time, weather condition, how fast a vehicle was going, those kinds of things. So we can see like their spikes, especially, I envision when we first roll this out, if it passes, putting it on either end of Highland Street, is specifically during like the school hours. So we can collect some data then. And also, it also reminds people, hey, slow down. It's school traffic time now.
Sounds good.
We shouldn't treat these like high scoreboards.
No, you should not do that. And it will, if you go too fast, it will record your speed so we can gather the data. However, it won't. And when it gets to a certain speed, you set it how many miles an hour over the speed limit, it'll shut it off so people aren't seeing how fast they can go through the sign. Because yes, that's a real thing though. It is. It happens.
Wow.
When it gets up to 100.
Yeah, it wouldn't be set that high. Nowhere near that high.
Do you need two separate motions for this or one and one?
I would say two separate ones. One for the grant agreement with the New Hampshire Highway Safety, and the other one to accept or allow me to expend the $57.99 on the radar speed sign, which we will be getting a 50% back from.
So is the motion on the grant a motion to apply for it or a motion to accept it?
Well, we've gotten it. We have it. It's guaranteed to us already. So I just need you to let me go spend the money.
Okay.
The grants are actually signed off on by Steve and Kathy. Kathy has the authority to sign off on the applications for the grants.
Okay. Okay, so we don't need any motion related to the grant.
Well, I still need a motion for you to approve the grant that they have been offered.
Okay, so I make a motion that we approve the grant for the Evolis radar speed signs and speed enforcement patrols.
Okay. All right. What would happen if we approve that grant? Approve that motion? It would be.
You're basically allowing for the budget
to
be increased by $4,900.
All right.
And you're looking at two items that are being spent here. One is $2,900 going towards a sign. The other one is a speed enforcement patrol. It's all wrapped into one grant.
Right. Okay. So the cost to the town is $2,900 for the speed signs and $500 for the patrols.
Correct.
And then the grant value is $4,900.
$4,900. That's right.
All right. So
you're getting correction though. You're getting $2,000 back for the speed patrols. There's $2,000 worth of speed patrols. Correct.
$2,900 for the sign and $2,000 for the speed patrols for a total.
Correct. Yes. Sorry, I think I might have heard you incorrectly.
That's good because Colleen has to hear me too, so it's good for me to repeat myself.
All right, so Zach moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Neil seconded. Any discussion, further discussion? Seeing none. Ted, your vote.
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Marianne?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Bill? Aye.
I
Thank
just
you.
want to make a comment. I see a lot of people that really are disobeying traffic laws. They're getting worse and worse all the time.
Yeah, I'm hoping some of this will help out, definitely.
Yeah.
So
And now I'll
Mr.
make-
Chair, I'm sorry, go ahead, Zach.
No, finish up.
Just a point of order that I was making. There's still $3,400 worth of grants between the DWI, texting, and seatbelt.
I
Yeah,
had
well-
that on my list next once they finished their PO.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That too, yeah.
I think Zach is on top of that too.
So I was going to make a motion to accept the purchase order to Elon City for $5,799.
That's it.
Got it.
All right. Zach made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Ted seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none. Neil, your vote.
Aye.
Ted?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Marianne?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. All right. Very good.
So before you go any further, as Steve was just mentioning, there's another $3,400 grant that they have received.
Correct.
And that, Steve, is for traffic enforcement as well? Or is
Correct,
that your
yep.
speeding and, okay,
No, the speeding is attached with the radar signs. This is different. This is seatbelt, DWI, and texting and driving patrols.
so if we could ask for a motion to approve that grant as well.
So that's $3,400.
$3,400 total, yes.
All right. Is there a motion for approval of acceptance of $3,400 for seatbelts, DWI, and texting?
Yes.
So moved.
All right. Zach moved. Is there a second?
Second.
And Ted seconded. Marianne, your vote.
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Ted?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Bill? Aye.
Well, thank you all. I hate to do that to you, pile it all on at once, but sometimes that's how these grants come in all at once. So you just gotta jump on them and do it.
I'm happy.
Just
that you
happy
get
they
them.
come in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Me
Free
too.
money is free money.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
June, Northern Borders grant application.
Hi there.
Hey,
So I think it was last week, I talked to you about the Northern Borders Region Commission's grant opportunity that was recently announced. And they have letters of interest or letters of intent, I guess, due this Friday, the 26th. So last week we had kind of gone over a few different ideas, and I spent a bit more time last week kind of digging in a bit more, trying to understand a few things. And I guess my report to you is, again, the Northern Borders money is for economic development and infrastructure projects. They really has to tie to an economic sort of development piece. And that there's lots of ways to do that, but their focus is on trying to support the economy in a variety of different ways. With construction, grant amounts can go up to $1 million, but those are rare to get because they just tend to not give a handful. There's only $4.5 million available to the state this year, so I think typically we look at it as it's better to offer more assistance for a variety of projects rather than just one or two at larger amounts, perhaps. So they try to sort of spread the work around. But without construction, the limit is about $350. So projects would need to be completed by September 2024. So after doing some brainstorming and thinking about things, looking at other aspects out there. We, and having a few meetings, kind of narrowed in on some discussions recently. Again, this is partly me getting up to speed of what's been going on, but some ideas around the airport and a couple of meetings that I had about that. My sense about what's some of that's been talked about the airport is it's still kind of more to like a feasibility study stage. We don't really have, we have interest, I guess, at the airport, but not so much ready to go with any kind of solid budgeting or financing of something there. So I think the best recommendation I would say is to keep looking at some opportunities for feasibility study kind of grants that might help us to better define and get commitments from some partners for something there, like maybe a 20-year lease, rather than just, oh yeah, okay, we like this idea, yeah, we support it. That's kind of what I'm seeing is where we're at, is the latter, not a hard commitment of yes, we want a secured definite lease. The other area that we've talked about was around Railroad Square because of the ongoing, long decades old kind of concerns about an actual road and access way behind Main Street down just to the east. A lot of just infrastructure problems still there. And so we still haven't heard from the EDA about our stormwater grant from up on Main Street that will help some of the drainage issues there. But the solution that's being offered through that is to basically send the water more north and south and kind of avoid the Railroad Square. It doesn't replace sort of the failed structures that Joe from Highway was explaining to me. I've had a couple conversations with one of the property owners there that is interested in us trying to move ahead. We did a feasibility study there again 15 years ago, but we have that to build off of. So it seems that that's where the best momentum is coming from. So I just wanted to kind of give you that report about those two sort of focus areas that I narrowed in on. And I guess I'm really asking you to endorse the concept tonight of maybe possibly moving ahead this week to get that letter of intent out by Friday. I don't have it drafted because I don't have enough information yet to do that. Still going to be a busy week trying to pull that together. And I certainly would need to talk again with Don Jutton at Plymouth Village Water and Sewer, because they would have to be a partner in this, and possibly that might really help us in a variety of ways that we're trying to sort out. But we believe, heard Friday that there might be some combined stormwater and drainage and sewer combined, basically the stormwater going to the sewer lines, still some old issues back there. You want to have those two pieces of infrastructure separated for some obvious reasons. So I need to learn more about that, but I guess the goal is seeing if we can pull together a letter of intent by Friday, and just keeping you up to date about this and get your support for doing that, and just allow Kathy and I to work ahead on getting that done. And Kathy, again, is authorized to submit for grants, but it'd be great to put in the letter something that says the select board is aware of this and endorses this concept going forward. And then with the actual applications due in early May, so we have about the month of April to really kind of figure it out. But they want us to get a letter of interest in, is highly recommended. So then it allows us to engage a little bit more with their staff to answer questions too.
Jim, any comments?
I think this is a great project. I'm glad that you made some progress on it, June. That's an area that it's needed attention for a while, and I think there's so much opportunity down there if we can do the right thing.
Any others? In that case, I guess, do you need a motion for us to support you going ahead with a letter of interest, or?
I guess even, something that we can point to in the minutes that would say that there was discussion about this and that the select board is supportive of it. And again, it's a letter of interest. It's not actually submitting the application. So I don't see the harm in doing a motion.
All right. Well, let's, I'd entertain a motion. Somebody want to make a motion
Is it,
to?
is it a motion to support the letter of intent? Is that?
Well,
Yeah.
it's basically saying that one of the I guess, yes, supporting a letter of intent from the town of Plymouth for funding to, to do some roadway work. This would basically, survey, design, layout, engineering for the but just, so it's about the Railroad Square area. Basically, that's the kind of statement that I think it should say. Sorry, I should have drafted that.
That's
Yes.
okay.
Say
So-
a letter of intent supporting a project in the Railroad Square area of infrastructure improvements. That's a simpler.
So moved on your reworded.
Very brave, Zach. Okay, so Ted, Ted, I anticipated you second, but is there a second?
Second.
Oh, wow, Ted seconds. Okay, any other discussion? Seeing none, Neil, your vote.
Aye.
Mary Ann?
Aye.
Ted?
Aye.
Zach?
Aye.
Bill? Aye. Thanks, June. And I do also realize that there still should be on the table the unmanned flight project at the airport. And we'll have some time to address that as well, but maybe not this particular one.
Okay.
But
Well, again, no promises about pulling this all together. We'll do our best, and there's certainly no, I think it's worth a try to try to obtain some more funding for the town. So.
thanks, June. What do we have left? New business. Oh, Lisa Donor. Petroleum leak into the Baker River.
I don't see her on here, but Scott might be able to speak on it.
Sure. Actually, Scott, would you mind putting you on the spot?
No, not at all.
Right.
So back on March 10th, sometime in the morning, we received an email from Lisa with regards to the Baker River watershed and the possibility of a petroleum leak that was taking place in Rumney on North Groton Road. So I got wind of it late March 10th in the afternoon and reached out to Dave Corsi, the fire chief in Rumney, as well as Joe Chevelle, the town administrator and emergency management director, and asked them what was the situation that was in hand. And Lisa's concern was that there could be a petroleum leak that was emptying into Clacks Brook and then following the brook down to the Baker River. And where the Baker River was so low, her concern was that it could be grasping in the sand and it could affect wells in the upper Plymouth area of the Baker River. So I did speak with Dave Corsi, I did speak with Joe Chevelle, and they assured me that the morning of March 10th, DES was on the scene at the location on North Groton Road in Rumney, which is actually the entrance to the windmills and intersects with North Groton Road. They did several samplings of the road, and all they found was normal sediment and silt from snow melt. They tested Clacks Brook in several different locations as it worked towards the Baker River and did not find any source of a petroleum leak. So with that said, they were very adamant that there wasn't a petroleum leak at that time, and that DES would continue to monitor and follow up. Excuse me, I haven't heard back from Dave Corsi with regards to any additional testing, but I know that it was going to be done periodically. So that's what I responded back to Bill and Lisa, and I think there was a few others that were on the email based on our findings, working with Chief Corsi and Joe Chevelle.
Thanks, Scott. And we also included water and sewer in that kind of alert to just to give them a heads up because whatever ends up in the river ends up in our aquifer. So, but as indicated, there wasn't any spill. So, all right. Any committee reports?
So the parking, go ahead. Zach.
No, please.
So the parking committee met for the first time in, I don't know what, Steve, like a year. It was good. Most of it was recap. Steve's having dinner. So Steve, Carol Dunn, Micah Hearn has agreed to, or graciously agreed to rejoin the committee for at least a couple meetings until we all get up to speed. Carol Dunn from Dresses Unlimited and Jamie from Simply Sunflowers, all part of the group. Steve's been doing some work in the background when we haven't had a chance to meet. He's looking at some virtual meters. Is that the right term, Steve?
Correct, yes.
Pretty cool stuff. Steve sat through, well, Steve, you want to tell them where I know you sat through some demos.
Sure, yeah. I have another demo tomorrow, as a matter of fact, with another vendor, but what it is just what they call a virtual meter. So everybody's obviously has a smartphone nowadays. Rather than an actual parking meter, there's just a QR code. You go up, you scan it, and it says, it tells you, well, what section are you parking in? It tells you what the time limit is, and you can hit pay right on your phone, and you're done. So we don't have any hardware that we have to purchase. One of the things I was telling in the committee is that I have $168,000 out of the bond that was reserved for new parking meters. And the whole reason I started looking at the virtual ones is because, number one, the hardware is very expensive. And number two, the credit card fees, and I know Zach's he got involved a little bit with some of the, the percentages that we have to pay. Well, on top of the percentages and the actual fee just for the meter to exist, so just so the meter can transmit the transactions, was $5 a meter per month. At 200 meters, that's $1,000. At a whole year, that's 12 grand we're paying just to have meters exist. It's outrageous to me. So that's what brought me to this new technology. And my whole thought process is that if we go to this virtual one, anybody can use their cell phone. We keep the old meters. We just update them to the the newer prices that we were discussing in the committee, that the prices need to be raised. We'll reprogram those, keep those. So if people have coin, they can still use the meter, but you get these signs and QR codes and put them right on the meter so people can also scan it with their cell phone and just pay then that way. And I'm thinking eventually we'll be able to determine, are people actually using the meters and change anymore? If they're not, then let's start to slowly get rid of them, phase them out, and just do all the QR codes or the signs or whatnot so people can pay with their cell phone. So that's where we're at. I just looked at it and like, there's got to be another way to save money here because it was just way too much.
Yeah, pretty cool technology. We're also, I think as Steve referenced, we'll be making a recommendation to the select board as far as increasing fees. We'll probably do that within the next month or so. And we just continue to getting up to speed on additional parking opportunities. And that's about it.
So, Steve, do you know of any other towns that are using that QR code?
Yeah, there's a bunch of towns actually using it. Off the top of my head, I can't rattle them off for you, but they are using it and using it successfully. I think Concord's actually one of them. You can pay using your cell phone. It's just, I think it's more convenient for people. Everybody's got their cell phone. I know, nowadays I don't even bring my wallet into the store anymore. I don't have to because I use Apple Pay on my phone for everything. So, and I think that's kind of the way we're going.
All right. Yeah, I think, I don't know if Concord may have it, but they generally have like a kiosk. They just go up there and, plug in where your license.
It depends on which section of town you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing we discussed too, because these QR codes they're just stickers with a QR code. So you can put it even at our kiosk that we have. You can put the sticker on there. People don't want to pay the kiosk. You just scan it with your phone and boom, you just paid.
Right. Okay. Interesting. All right. Thanks, Marianne and Steve.
Welcome.
Any other?
I went to my first planning board meeting as an alternate, and then suddenly as the primary because Marianne had some people call in. So yeah, I got a little trial by fire. There was some interesting stuff though. We approved the site plan for the Mount Prospect Academy project where they're expanding across the street there. Conditional, there's a bunch of conditions on it. And then we also conditionally approved the site plan for the Riverside Landing expansion. So those were both interesting. And then we got sort of a pre-application review, sort of a heads up that a project is coming. They're talking about adding an Aroma Joe's on Tenny Mountain Highway.
Ooh. I like
Which,
Aroma
at
Joe's.
least for me, given how long the Dunkin' Donuts drive-through line has been, every single time I've been there recently, it seems like a good time for Aroma Joe's to get into town.
Yeah, they get pretty crowded too, though.
So one more time, where was that going to go, Zach?
On the corner of Boulder Point Drive and Tenny Mountain Highway. There's
Nice. That's a good spot for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that a definite thing? Do we know?
It's not definite. The owner of, I think it was the owner of Aroma Joe's, came and spoke to us about his intent to submit an application. So he's sort of in the getting the paperwork figured out. And I assume that proposal is coming through very soon from him.
Gotcha. Nice. Thank you.
As long as the Bartlett Road warrant article passes, I'll be all set.
Take the long way around, Bill.
Yeah, no, maybe I'll need to, but we'll see. And it was interesting to see that the school bought that property across the street from, the PD and also their current school. So it's nice to see that that's going, getting some use. It was unfortunate that we didn't pick it up a while ago, but that's okay. I guess it was a little too costly for us anyway, but.
And they did a great job. I got a tour of it last week. What
Yeah.
a fantastic job they did inside. It's beautiful. And if you guys have a chance and want a tour, let me know. I'll set it up for you. It's a really nice facility.
Okay. And it's for special needs kids or something like that?
No, it's for the day students for the Beckett School for Mount Prospect Academy.
Right. Okay.
Because they don't want to, they've been having problems mixing the day students with the residential students and they want to keep them separate.
I think there's going to be just 20 day students in that facility. I went with Jeremy last week and we did a initial inspection. There are some things that need to be completed, but they're more than willing to work with the town and get those items taken care of.
If one of you are going over there for another inspection or something, I'd love to tag along. I'd love to, always interested in that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay. Very good. Any other committee reports? All right. Seeing none, are there any public comments? I know we're down to just us.
We got one.
Oh, hey.
I'm
Jenny.
still here.
Hey, all right. Jenny Tebow.
Yeah. I didn't catch when Steve was talking how if somebody's is like the meter reader gonna know that somebody did the QR code for their car.
Okay, so it goes into a system and all he has to do is go up to the license plate, type it in the computer and they're paid for a 2-hour meter and this is when their time expires.
Okay.
So in other words, it helps because other states have actually been sued constitutionally because they're not allowed to chalk tires anymore. And if you notice, we stopped doing that ourselves. We don't chalk tires anymore. So it actually helps with that enforcement piece as well going to this because now it's all just tracked electronically.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good. Thanks for that question, Jenny. That's useful. And any other public comments? Seeing none. Is there a motion?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Thanks, Mary Ann.
Second,
Mary Ann moves, Neil seconds. Ted, your vote.
Aye.
Zach,
Aye.
Neil,
aye.
Mary Ann,
Aye.
Bill, aye.